Okay, so the next basic form of movement, this can be done. This can be done with two different groups, but that's not really how it's performed. This technique is called bumping, and it's typically done at an individual level. It's not really a squad movement. It might be a fire team movement. But at any rate, let's assume, for the sake of this demonstration, that these good guys are two individuals. One person here, one person there. These can still be groups. It doesn't really matter all that much. For whatever reason, the situation has dictated that they need to bump instead of bound. Bumping is a much slower process. It is about twice as slow as bounding. So bounding is about twice as fast as bumping, but it's a much more cautious maneuver. You typically wouldn't be doing this to advance into a gunfight. Excuse me. You could do this to advance towards a fight as long as you weren't in a fight. So you could do this to very cautiously move forward into hostile or unknown territory. Or you could do this as a fairly safe way to break contact with an enemy that's not really pursuing you. If they're really trying to get after you, this isn't the appropriate technique. So let's say that they start at opposite ends. This is not something that they're going to do under fire, under ideal circumstances. So this person is going to end up over here. Now they can communicate that however they want. This guy can say, move into you. It's typically going to be a whisper, move into you. This guy, same thing, move. Right, pow. So now, they are both in close proximity. So now, one of them, whoever the team lead, is probably the guy who's going to stay in the rear the most on this one. So let's assume that this guy right here is team lead, and this guy is your peon, your basic bitch. Basic bitch is going to say, move. He'll say, move. So basic bitch, insofar as he is able, will move around. Let the team lead know I'm set. And then the team lead, again, insofar as they're able, they're going to communicate their movements. Team lead, moving. Basic bitch, move. If he's able, he can tell the team lead, don't move, and he can say hold. If he sees something, maybe this guy, they're unaware, and this guy's just kind of roaming around out here, or this guy starts to move out of sight, this guy can tell the team lead, hey, don't move. I see something that you don't, and the way he's going to do that is by saying hold. But regardless, let's say the basic bitch says, go ahead and move. Team lead is going to move up here to the exact same place. And then essentially, once he's in place, he's bumping basic bitch out of that spot. Right? So they get together, they're sitting there, they decide it's time to move. Basic bitch says move it. Team lead says move. Basic bitch gets in place, all set. Team lead moves. So the whole idea is that rather than really shooting forward, bounding, they're going to take a much more cautious, slow approach. Or again, they could be doing this to move away from contact. But those are sort of the two most fundamental methods of moving as a group.